My mother left my father when I was 2 years old. My mother figures are my aunts and my grandmother. I went from living at my one aunt's house to another aunt's house to my grandma's house. The living room was our bedroom. It was really hard for me. At the time, I don't really know, being that young. It wasn't until I was probably about elementary school that I realized that it's not normal to be sharing a room with 4 other people. My name is Johnny Nunez. I'm 34 years old. And I am from the United States of America, and I am fighting out of Evolve Fight Team. Growing up, something I really didn't have was an actual mother to kiss me goodnight. I really didn't get to know my mother very well. My father met another woman, and so when I was probably about 8 or 9 years old, my father moved my brothers and I to Idaho to live with his new wife and pretty much started a whole new life there. Everything was good for a little bit, and then a lot of change with my stepmother. She was very, very mean. She was verbally abusive. She was physically abusive. She was actually pretty mean to my father as well. I remember her hitting me with a curling iron or just abusive punishment, like couldn't even come out the room to go eat. I hated just being home a lot, it was really hard. So that's why I pretty much found sports. I wasn't in sports when I was in California, but when I moved to Idaho, I was lonely, so I started doing football. I made some friends in Idaho, signed up for the local wrestling program, met a few coaches there that kind of helped me find a path. Going to tournaments was the best thing I could do to keep that negativity out of my life, but I wasn't really good at it until high school. I wasn't good at it to the point where I wanted to quit a lot. But there was really one instance that changed my life. Freshman year in high school, I didn't make it to the state tournament. I barely missed it by 1 point. I remember going to the tournament and watching my teammate win a state championship. I remember thinking, man, I really, really, really want that. That summer, I went back home and trained, got onto the national wrestling team, and come around the next season, I won a state championship my sophomore year. I didn't lose a match. I was 43-0. That was kind of like the beginning of everything. I look back now and I realize that if I wouldn't have lost that match, then I probably wouldn't be as successful as I was my senior year. Then I probably wouldn't have been as hungry. I wouldn't have been as dedicated. Training here at Evolve is great. Got some of the best teammates, training partners, world champion Muay Thai fighters here. Can't ask for anything better. It's been a year since my last fight. Had a lot going on, but these last few months has been perfect. I've had the best training camp. This is the best I've ever felt for a fight. My number one goal is to support my family financially. And, obviously I want to be a world champion. I think being here at Evolve made me hone down on what's important. My family, my training, and just being the best that I could be. Not just being a world champion, but just being a good person. It's really made me realize what I have right in front of me. I would say the message I would give to anybody who's, for one, struggling and feeling like they can give up, not just in MMA, some things happen for a reason. So I would say, whatever you're doing, just keep with it. If not, if you just give up on something, you could be missing out on so much more